Hey guys, it's ExiledDarkness from YGO Team Backfire, and today I want to give you a deck profile on a deck that is past its prime but still kicking. The deck today is going to be Gladiator Beasts. This is one of my favorite archetypes because I like these guys, they're really fun. And what better way to show them off than with the guy that was unlimited. Gladiator Beast Bestiary. This guy is Wing Beast, Wind, and what's cool is that he was basically MST when he was tagged in from a Gladiator Beast effect. That was probably why he was limited too, because everybody knows back then targeting was a no-no, especially spell and trap targeting. That's why back then you could use Heavy Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster. Next, we have 2 Gladiator Beast Darius. This horseman is basically your monster reborn if he's tagged in, at the cost of letting your monster that's been brought back, they can't use their effects. But still, you can bring back Bestiary and then go for one of the best fusions in the deck. Next we have 2 Gladiator Beast Equest. This Centaur is really good. Basically he brings back any Gladiator Beast card from your grave and then brings it to your hand. Plus he's Wing Beast and Wind, so very, very helpful. 1 Gladiator Beast Hoplimus. I'm going to focus a little bit. He has got to be at least my favorite because 1, he is a defensive wall. He is a Rhino. He's level 4. I just like him. He has saved me so many times, and if he's tagged in, he gains I think his base defense becomes 2400. Not bad. Here is the Fire Tiger Laquari. He's pretty cool. If he's tagged in, he gains 300 attack, so his original attack would be 2100. He's pretty much the beat stick. I like him. What else is there to say? We have 1 Gladiator Beast Murmello. Murmello is something you would want to keep at 1. The reason being is that Murmello is, if you draw him, then you hate him because he's useless otherwise with 800 attack, 400 defense. He reminds you of a Neospatian, and those guys aren't as good as people want them to be. But still, if you summon him, you can target one monster that's face up, and then you can destroy it. So it's very helpful. Next, we have 1 Gladiator Beast Retiari. Retiari, when he's tagged in, he can banish 1 card from your opponent's grave, which is very helpful, especially with how sometimes in the well, not sometimes, most of the time in today's meta, grave effects are very important. So you can banish some Cosmo card because they can be targeted while in the grave. You can banish some Blue Eyes cards. You can banish not Gospel. That's the Japanese version. Return of the Dragon Lords, although I prefer Gospel of Revival. You can banish that. Next, we have 2 Gladiator Beast Samnite. This guy is really good. I like him because he was my first Gladiator Beast card that I pulled from the Crimson something, that pack with the Red Dragon Archfiend on it. But he and Gladiator Beast Ondel were my first, but Samnite is much more useful. Samnite is when he's tagged in, you can add 1 Gladiator Beast card from your deck to your hand, I think. And you can add War Cherry, you can add Respite, you can add Bestiary or something to your hand. Very, very helpful. Next, we have 1 Gladiator Beast Secutor. Secutor is the same thing with Murmello. You hate him if you draw him, but you love him if you get to pull his effect off. His effect, if he's targeted, if he's targeted for an attack, or if he tags and he lives while if he's tagged in, then you can bring out 2 other Gladiator Beasts from your deck. He's not a bad card, but he's very hard to pull off. Next we have 2 Test Tiger. Most Gladiator Beast players hate Test Tiger. I like him. The reason why is that you can tribute him, then bring in 1 Gladiator Beast from your deck with its effect like active. So Test Tiger is very, very good. Sometimes he can be a dead draw, but he can also be fodder for defense if you haven't drawn that card you needed yet, but still. 1 Book of Moon. I really wish Konami would bring this card back to 2. It's not really that good anymore, but Book of Moon, quick play, flip cards face down, very helpful with Sam Knight and cards that are stronger than your Gladiator Beasts. Speaking of cards that are stronger than your Gladiator Beast, you can use this card, Forbidden Lance, which I would recommend running at 2, but 1 seems to work for me. Forbidden Lance, lower the attack points by 800. It also helps with bottomless, so let's say you play some fusion like Geyseris or Heraclinos. They use bottomless. You play Forbidden Lance and they're immune to bottomless. Next we have the Graceful Charity to deck. Very situational, but 3 Gladiator Beast Respite. You target 2 Gladiator Beast cards from your hand and then put them back in your deck, draw 3. Helpful, but not especially with the many Gladiator Beast cards in your deck. Next we have 2 Gladiator Beasts Battle Manica. That's a mouthful. Gladiator Beasts Battle Manica. Alright. You can only equip it to a Gladiator Beast monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle, but you still take damage. And when that's the beauty of this card. You can give it to Geyseris, you can give it to Darius, they won't be destroyed by battle. And the good thing is, if you tag out with using a Gladiator Beast while this card is equipped to it, then this card, once it's sent to the grave, it comes back to your hand. It's very helpful. Next we have 2 Gladiator Proving Ground. It's basically the reinforcement of the army. It's just searches out, let's say you're in a tough spot, you want a Hoplomys, you use Proving Ground, you get Hoplomys. Or you get Bestiary. 2 Infected Male. Infected Male is actually something that makes Gladiator Beasts somewhat viable again, especially with the Gladiator Beast tag out effect, which after they attack, that you can put them back in your deck and bring out another one. Infected Male, if you have a level 4 or lower monster you control, you can attack your opponent directly. Needless to say, this card works very well with Gladiator Beast Laquari. When he's tagged in, he gains 300 attack points, so his original attack is at 2100. You use Infected Male, Laquari attacks your opponent directly for 2100, then you can tag out, so Infected Male's second effect, where that monster that attacks directly, it's sent to the grave this turn. With the Gladiator Beast thing, it's you can, instead of sending the Gladiator Beast to the grave, you can tag it out to bring another Gladiator Beast, except for the one you tagged out, to the field again. It doesn't... It sounds odd, but it works. So basically, you have a Gladiator Beast, you use Infected Male to make that Gladiator Beast attack your opponent directly, and at the end, at the battle phase, that the monster that would attack would be sent to the grave. But then you use the tag out effect that every single Gladiator Beast except for Secutor has, and then you can bring another one to replace it, and that new monster won't be sent to the grave. Moving on, My Body as a Shield. Very helpful with Mirror Force or Destruction cards. Regeki, Dark Hole, those guys, Black Rose. Shrink, very helpful for Gladiator Beasts, because the weakness that I want to tell you guys about Gladiator Beasts is that if your opponent has a monster that's stronger than, let's say, 1800, then most Gladiator Beasts cannot get over it. And that's why Shrink and Forbidden Lance are so helpful, because they remove that disability. Okay, now time for the traps. Alright, then push this up. 2 Call of the Haunted. Get out of here. Leave. 2 Call of the Haunted. I will get into detail with this more later. Get out of here, bestiary. Call the Hunt is useful because you can bring back a Gladiator Beast from the grave, then contact fuse with it, or just stall. One compulsory evacuation device. Not as helpful as it used to be, but still, it's a good card. Defensive tactics. It's basically, if you have a Gladiator Beast on the field, it's Waboku. Time for the star trap of this deck. 3 Gladiator Beast War Chariot. If you use a monster effect from the grave or from your hand, if I have a Gladiator Beast on my side of the field, I can negate it, destroy it, and with good old Quest, I can bring it back to my hand from the grave. 1 Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning, kind of obvious. Solemn Strike would be a better choice, but Solemn Warning is still good. Starlight Road. Protection against destruction effects like Regeki, Dark Hole, Twin Twister. 2 Waboku. Waboku is good, you know, just protect your monsters, protect your life points. Tag out with your Gladiator Beast effects. Alright. Now onto the fusions. Here are 3 Gladiator Beast Geyseris. You need Bestiary and one other Gladiator Beast monster. You contact fuse them, which means you don't use polymerization, you just shove them back in the deck and shuffle. And when this card is special summoned, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. What's good is that if you mix this card with Call the Haunted, then, oh look, you can destroy 2. Look, Geyser's destroyed. You play Call the Haunted, bring a Geyser's back, destroy 2 more cards. And plus he's 2400 attack points. He's not bad. 1 Gladiator Beast Heraclinos. This guy, 3000 attack, 2800 defense. You need Gladiator Beast Laquari and 2 other Gladiator Beast monsters. Contact fuse, no polymerization, you know, the good stuff. With Heraclinos, you can, let's say you have a card in your hand that you don't particularly need, like, I don't know, Test Tiger, and your opponent uses a spell or trap, you can negate that spell or trap by discarding that 1 card from your hand with Heraclinos' effect. That's why he's good. 1 Gladiator Beast Neurokius. Neurokius is very helpful. He prevents your opponent from... He's basically Armades. And all you need to summon him is 3 Gladiator Beast monsters. They can be the same name, whatever. Just contact fuse 3 of them. And when this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate anything during the battle phase. So no Honest, no Bujinji Crane, no Mirror Force, no nothing. Stars Dragon for Starlight Road. You can't really bring him out otherwise, so it's kind of an iffy kind of thing. Carnagorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight. I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but still. Good against Gradles. They want to steal your stuff, just detach the material and pass it off to somebody you don't need, like Test Tiger or something. Dagosto Emerald. Emerald is very good in this deck because you can put your deceased Gladiator Beast monsters back in the deck, shuffle, draw 1 card. Gaga Cowboy, kind of self-explanatory, 800 burn for game. 2 Lightning Chidori. Chidori is very good. I like Chidori. I wish it was Rasengan though. 1 Maestroke Symphony, the Symphonic Edition, whatever his name is. He's a Book of Moon and he's decent defense. Wind up Zemains for those level 3s. Zemains, I remember when Zemains was $500, now it's like $2.50, something around that. And that's the deck. And here are some side deck cards you might want to put in. 2 Elemental Hero Prisma. Works very well with Test Tiger, and here's a 3rd one. Use Prisma, make like reveal Geyseris, Laquari, and then here. Use Prisma's effect to reveal Geyseris. You send Bestiary to the grave. You special summon Test Tiger in defense, because, you know, effect Veiler. You tribute Test Tiger, and since this is a Gladiator beast, you can bring back, you can send this back, what was it? You can tribute Test Tiger, bring out one Gladiator beast from your deck, let's say Darius, after, you can bring back Darius, which then brings out the what was it, the Bestiary that sent to the grave, contact fuse them for Geyseris, blow 2 things up, and then attack. Easy as that. Also with the Elemental Heroes, you might want to put a couple Hero Lives, Emergency Call, and Reinforcement of the Army just to search them out. A very good side deck option would be Cyber Dragon and Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. You know, one Cyber Dragon could be bottomless fodder, like bait, and Chimera Tech is just to get rid of those machines. Like, you know, this was for Cleave Force, but now it's for Cosmos. I put 1 Murmello in the side deck because that's what I used to run, 2 Murmello, but then I realized 1 was better. But if you want to, here's your second copy. A second copy of Defensive Tactics. Right now in the main deck there's like 3 Woboku, so defensive Tactics isn't really a must need. But the good thing about Defensive Tactics is, instead of being sent to the grave, it's put on the bottom of your deck, but at the same time it's not very helpful. Either way, it's a good card. Dimensional Fissure. Decent, because your Gladiator beasts won't necessarily be sent to the grave, because you'll always be tagging them out. So if you use this card, it could really mess up your opponent's strategies, because their monsters will be sent to the grave banished instead of being sent to the grave. Smashing Ground. Good against Cosmos, because it doesn't target. And usually they only have like 1 or 2 monsters on the field, so Dark Destroyer, or that planet thing, or whatever thing, is destroyed and doesn't target. Impenetrable Attack. It's basically Woboku, or it's like a split Woboku. You can either, during the battle phase, target 1 monster you can on the field, and it can be destroyed by battles or by card effects during the battle phase, or you can take no battle damage. It's kind of like half or nothing. Well, that is my Gladiator Beast deck. I hope you guys liked it. Tell me what you think. Is it good? Is it trash? Make sure to leave a dislike or a like. Subscribe, comment. Yeah, just let me know what you think. I'm very looking forward to the comments you guys do. And yeah, this is ExiledDarkness signing out.